Okay, today we are jumping into a fascinating mystery. We're going to talk about the 7 habits that are secretly, silently draining your mental energy and leaving you feeling totally wiped out even when you've had plenty of sleep. So let me ask you this. Does this feel familiar? You get 8 hours of sleep, you take it easy on the weekend, but you still wake up with this mental heaviness. It's like a fog in your brain that just won't clear, no matter what you do. It's so frustrating, right? Well, here's the big idea. And this is really important. It's not you. This isn't about being lazy or having some kind of character flaw. It's what we can call invisible noise. These are tiny, subtle habits that are always running in the background of your mind, just gobbling up your cognitive bandwidth. And this all leads to something called the mental energy paradox, that feeling of being completely exhausted without having done anything physically demanding at all. So let's play detective. Let's unmask the real culprits behind this paradox.
So, where do we even start looking for these energy thieves? Well, the first place is often the one we think we have the most control over, the actual physical space around us.
The very first habit is simply putting up with clutter. See, when your desk or your room or your house is messy, it's not just a visual problem. Every piece of clutter sends a tiny signal to your brain that says work isn't done. This completely overloads your working memory, and get this, it literally spikes your body's main stress hormone, cortisol. Just think about that for a second. That stack of mail on the counter, that pile of clothes on the chair, it's not just sitting there. It's actively pumping stress into your system. It's pretty wild to realize that a messy space really does create a messy mind. Okay, so let's shift gears. We're moving from our physical environment to our social one. And believe me, the energy drains that are hidden in our day-to-day interactions, they can be even more powerful. First up in this category is something called emotional labor overload. You know who you are? Are you the therapist friend, the one everyone unloads on? Being a good friend is one thing, but when it's a totally one-sided relationship, you're just pouring out emotional energy without ever getting a refill. It's a fast track to burnout.
And then there's this one. Self-justification fatigue. Oh man, this is that exhausting habit of feeling like you have to constantly explain yourself, your choices, your feelings, your boundaries, and you're usually explaining them to people who don't actually want to understand you. Every time you over-explain, you're just draining the battery you need to actually live your own life.
And you can see how this becomes this vicious loop, right? You do something, then you immediately start worrying about what someone's going to say. So you launch into this whole prepared speech defending yourself, and poof, your energy is just gone before a conflict has even happened.
And the last social drain is what we call sustained social monitoring. Just picture hosting a dinner party. You're not just there, are you? No, you're scanning every face, listening to the tone of every conversation, reading body language, making sure everyone's glass is full. That is an incredible amount of work for your brain, and it is absolutely depleting. All right, that brings us to our third, our final, and maybe our most powerful category. These are the energy drains that don't come from our stuff or from other people. They come from that voice inside our own head. So, habit number 5 is what we're going to call avoidance anxiety. We're so quick to call procrastination laziness, but what if it's not? So much of the time, it's actually just our brain's reaction to the anxiety of a tough task. We're not avoiding the work, we're trying to avoid the feeling of doing the work.
And here's why that's such a big deal. It's not just about wasting time. Every single time you choose to avoid something uncomfortable, you're sending a message to yourself that you can't handle it. And over time, that just chips away, piece by piece, at your trust in yourself.
Next up, habit number 6, internal self-criticism. This is that constant, low-level war so many of us have going on inside our heads. It's where every little thing we do gets compared against this perfect, idealized version of who we think we should be. And this creates a constant state of internal conflict. You've got who you actually are on one side, and this impossible standard of who you think you should be on the other. That gap between the two, that's a battlefield where so much of our mental energy just gets burned up in guilt and frustration.
And our final habit, using overly emotional, dramatic language in your own head. You know, when a small thing goes wrong and that voice inside your head just screams, "This is a total disaster," or "I can't stand this," you're basically pouring gasoline on your own stress fire.
And this is absolutely crucial. It's not just about feeling bad. When you use that kind of catastrophic language, you trigger your brain's fight or flight system, which literally shuts down the logical problem-solving parts of your brain. You can't think your way out of a problem when you're telling yourself it's the end of the world.
So there you have it. We've unmasked our 7 culprits: clutter, emotional labor, self-justification, social monitoring, avoidance, self-criticism, and that dramatic inner voice. So what in the world do we do about it? How do we get our energy back?
Here is the single most important idea. Getting your mental clarity back is not about adding more things to your to-do list. It's not about a new productivity hack. It's about subtraction. It's about finding and removing these little points of friction in your life.
The way to more mental energy is just to make life easier for your brain. It means tidying your desk. It means setting a boundary with that one friend. It means talking to yourself with a little less drama and a little more kindness. It's all about choosing the path of least resistance. And remember, the reason these habits are so dangerous is precisely because they're invisible. They just hum along under the surface of our awareness. But don't be fooled. Every single day, they are quietly, consistently shaping the quality of your entire life.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you can see them, which one of these invisible energy drains are you going to plug first? Because the choice you make right now could be the first step to feeling more energized than you have in years.